It is done.
One moment. That's right. Okay. Thank you for that wonderful gathering music.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. If you feel like, getting a little more intimate, that's good too. But it does look like everybody's up close instead of somebody way back there. Thank you for braving the cold and the weather to be here today with everyone else. My name is Reverend Doug McCusker, and I am delighted to be once again here as your guest worship leader this morning. It is very wonderful to have you with us today, whether you're online or you're in person. No matter what you believe, who you love, or your background and circumstances, you are welcome. We have the joy of coming together, and we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome here. So please reach out and greet those who are near you this morning, which is just basically all of us.
Morning.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Christine.
Matt,
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
What's the temperature up there, Christine?
Oh, bloody heck. I think it's 12.
Oh, hi, Ross.
Good.
How's it down there?
Cold. I think it was 0 when I woke up at 7:30.
It's definitely colder earlier. We're looking forward to a good day.
Yeah, the sun's gonna shine.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
The heat wave.
I have to ask, have you seen any ICE officers up there?
Some people have been taken. My
All
daughter-in-law
right,
who's
settle
been,
in.
oh,
Take your
talk to you
coat
later.
off. You're at home. You will find listed in your order of service. Oh, actually, let us greet the people from on Zoom. Are there anybody out there in Zoom land?
Yes. This morning we have with us Matthew J., Christine Bates from Portland, Maine, Christy and Gary, Iona, Joan Pillsbury, Maggie Sadaway, Maria, and Trudy Ralph.
All right. Welcome. Come on in. So as I was getting ready to say, you will find listed in your order of worship several important announcements about upcoming activities at All Souls. So please check the insert for details. If this is your first visit here, please sign our guest book in the narthex near the front entrance so we can keep you posted with our weekly newsletter. You can also find information in the pamphlets of all the pews. And as I see back there, we have treats, so we will be having a social hour after the service. So please join us for that. And now, I invite everyone to come into this room in body and spirit. Be present, be focused, and be at peace. In the words of Reverend Kathleen McTeague, we come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist that headlong tumble into the next moment, until we can claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and to see communion. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together. Let us take this time for quiet reflection as we listen in silence to our prelude. These are the words from the Reverend Gordon McKeeman. Deep calls into deep. Joy calls unto joy. Light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace and hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light whenever and wherever we are. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing our opening hymn number 131 in the gray hymnal, Love Will Guide Us. Please join me in reading out loud in unison our All Souls Covenant, which you will find in the order of service. In this house, we covenant with one another to build our connections on a foundation of love, hope, and faith, to accept responsibility for our individual acts and work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, to stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of the oppressed and championing all movements to end discrimination, to communicate with kindness and support, and to serve with compassion and commitment, to listen respectfully with an open mind and value our diversity as a source of our communal strength, to learn together and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasure. Celebrate the joys of discovery, embracing the fullest measure of our humanity, from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, to openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine that is. I invite you to find a comfortable position in which to sit for our meditation. If you want, allow your eyes to gently close, or you can just let them soften as you focus on a spot in front of you. Tune into your body and notice any areas that might feel tight. As you breathe, consciously exhale into those tight spots with compassion. I will lead you into a Buddhist practice called metta meditation. You can begin the practice by bringing your mind to yourself as you sit here right now. Try to connect with your own deepest intentions for happiness, ease, and safety. You don't need to dive into stories of what will make you happy, but just connect with that natural desire that you have to be happy, at ease, and safe. You can cultivate this intention to open the heart to your own well-being by silently offering yourself these phrases after me. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be at ease. You can offer these phrases silently in your head, saying them slowly enough that you can connect with their meaning and the intention behind them. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be at ease. I invite you now to bring to mind a good friend. This may be a loved one, a companion, a teacher or mentor, or maybe a beloved pet. You can connect with your natural desire to see this person or being happy and at ease. Just like you, they want to be happy, to feel safe, and to be healthy. In an effort to cultivate this intention of kindness, you can offer this person a few phrases. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be at ease. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at ease. I invite you now to bring to mind a neutral person. This is someone you see maybe regularly, but you don't know very well. It may be somebody who works somewhere that you go a lot, a coworker, or maybe a neighbor. Although you don't know this person well, you can recognize that this person wants to be happy. You don't need to know what their happiness looks like necessarily. Again, offer this person who you have brought into your intentions the phrases of loving kindness, connecting with the intention to care about their well-being. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you be at ease. And now I invite you to bring to mind someone who you may find difficult. Maybe it's someone you find yourself agitated with or annoyed by. You can offer the phrases, recognizing that you are connecting with your intention to care for this person, even though you find them to be difficult. Sometimes they are our greatest teachers. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be at ease. I invite you now to take a slow, deep, cleansing breath through your nose. And as you slowly exhale, gently open your eyes and return your attention to this sacred gathering. Welcome back. Every week in our church, we take an offering, which gives us an opportunity to exercise the generosity of spirit that supports all souls and our ministries. If you are visiting today, you are our guest. Feel free to let the plate pass. We see this act of giving, of growing more generous in our hearts and in our actions as essential to our spiritual well-being. We will now receive this morning's offering.
I've been a traveler on a lonely road. It's one
Our reading comes from Fred Small, titled Siding with Love. Where is our holy church? We're on the side of love. Many Unitarian Universalists suffer from a chronic identity crisis. People ask us, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? And we freeze. We don't know what to say, because Unitarian Universalists, as a whole, believe so many different things. We are priests of paradox, apostles of ambiguity, nattering nabobs of nuance. Do we believe in God? Question, simple. Answer, impossible. Define God. Define belief. Define we. Define in. Whatever God is or is not, I don't think God cares what we believe. I don't think Jesus cares what we believe, and I know the Buddha doesn't care what we believe. The important question is not what we believe, it's where we stand. I want to stand with love. Of course, when I say standing, I'm not talking about a physical posture. Rosa Parks stood on the side of love by remaining seated. I'm talking about a moral stance, not just assumed privately in our hearts, but witnessed bodily in our families and schools and workplaces and communities, at the state houses, in the halls of Congress. I'm talking about faith in action. And I'm not talking about sanctimony. I'm talking about intentionality, understanding that our practice will be imperfect as each of us is imperfect. What is our purpose? What is our aspiration? What is our commitment? To side with love. When Unitarian Lydia Maria Child defined the prohibition of her time against women speaking in public and demanded freedom for enslaved African Americans and the vote for women, when she protested the Trail of Tears, the brutal removal of the Cherokee, she was siding with love. When Unitarian Universalist minister Jim Reeb heeded the call of Martin Luther King Jr. to Selma, Alabama, and was bludgeoned to death by racists, he was siding with love. Siding with love doesn't require power. It requires courage, because courage is power. When a child on a playground sticks up for another who is teased or bullied or left out because they're different, that child is siding with love. Siding with love affirms the full humanity of all people. It honors the inherent worth and dignity, the spark of the divine in each and every person. Siding with love means treating each other well, whether ally or adversary. Love is patient, wrote the Apostle Paul. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. Siding with love means being more committed to being reconciled than to being right. Love does not insist on its own way. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. A religious person, Rabbi Abraham Heschel, taught us, is one whose greatest passion is compassion, whose greatest strength is love and defiance of despair. That is a religious person. His friend Martin Luther King Jr. added, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. So when someone asks us what Unitarian Universalists believe, or why we're speaking out on gay rights, or immigrant rights, or disability rights, or human rights, or why we bother to go to church on a Sunday morning, let's tell them we are siding with love. Herein ends our reading. In preparation for this sermon, I had the following insight. It seems that it is easier to hate a group of people than it is to hate an individual, especially someone you know. And conversely, it is easier to love an individual than it is to love a faceless group of people. I guess what I'm saying is that it's easier to love individuals, but easier to hate groups. But let's first talk about hate. That is such a harsh word, isn't it? It seems like hate is extreme by its very nature. You don't hate someone or something a little bit. It's all or nothing. You may dislike someone for any number of reasons, but to trip the switch into hate, that's taking it to another level. To hate someone is to wish them harm, to imagine them as a mortal enemy who must be destroyed, defeated, and humiliated. Hatred does not exist on its own. We do not come into this world as infants hating anything. We don't wake up one morning hating others for no good reason. It is a response born of fear. We are taught to hate others by those who play on our fears. Today, in our country, authoritarian politicians clinging to power are following the fascist playbook by scapegoating certain segments of our society, such as refugees, and dehumanizing them as people who will eat your cats and dogs, who are murderers and rapists. At the memorial service of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, our president, President Trump, said from the pulpit, "I hate my enemies, and I do not wish them well." Quote, unquote. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke extensively about hate as a self-perpetuating sinkhole. He said that hate begets hate. Hate only intensifies the existence and evil in the universe. If I hate you and you hate me, and I hate you back and then you hate me back, and we go on, you see, that goes on ad infinitum. It just never ends. Hate is not an end in itself. It is always a means to emotionally prepare someone to do something terrible that they would not otherwise do. Take, for instance, the racist, reactionary insurrection that took place at the Capitol on January 6, 2020. A mob of Trump supporters were whipped into a frenzy using lies about having the election stolen from them. It was pure manipulation, and it worked. The other side was characterized as shifty, sneaky, cheaters in cahoots with shadowy foreign agents. The stakes were elevated to life or death, and so violence was inevitable. We have all seen the hate on the faces of those who broke down barriers and bludgeoned the Capitol Police with flagpoles, fire extinguishers, hockey sticks, and bats. Many of the people involved in those terrible acts later said that they don't know what came over them. They lost control of their senses by sheer hatred towards some amorphous group that was bent on doing them harm. And now, in cities across the country, especially in Minneapolis, hatred of the other is being used by an out-of-control, militarized federal immigration control agency to summarily round up men, women, and even children, often based only on their skin color, to deport them back to a country that in many cases had tortured and imprisoned them. We have seen with our own eyes where these agents have shot and killed people who they think are getting in their way. during times of war. Soldiers are socialized to dehumanize the so-called enemy. Friends of mine who served in the Vietnam War told me that for the combatants on both sides to want to kill someone that they didn't even know, they had to be taught to hate them. And then, when the war was over, that hate turned inward in the form of guilt for what they had done. The last thing commanders wanted their soldiers to think about was the common humanity of their enemies. By dehumanizing everyone on the other side, men, women, and children, they turned young men straight from the farm and the inner cities into trained killers. This is not new to the Vietnam War. It has been the recipe for conquest and revolution since ancient times, despite the harm that it inflicts on the soldiers. One form of post-traumatic syndrome, or PTSD, is what is called moral injury. Moral injury. In 2008's Psychology Review, an article written by B.T. Lutz defined moral injury as a disruption of an individual's confidence and expectations about his or her own moral behavior, or another's capacity to behave in a just and ethical manner. When one engages in hatred and acts out on their fears, they tear the moral fabric that holds us all together. It not only damages the victim, but also the perpetrator. So now, let's turn our attention to love. Did you feel something in your body shift when I said that word? Love? I bet that just hearing me say love, you were like, whew, all that talk about hate was getting me down. Love is a much more pleasant subject, isn't it? But it might be a bit harder to grasp. Remember my opening hypothesis. Unlike hatred, it is easier to love an individual than a larger group. So why do I say that? I think it's the same reason why we have a harder time hating individuals. Because we see ourselves in someone else. When we sit down to listen, to understand, and feel empathy toward another person, we touch our own humanity, our own core of existence. We sense a reflection of our innermost joys and sorrows whenever we connect with someone else. Ultimately, that is what love is all about. A visceral connection to that common essence of life flowing through all beings. 19th century Unitarian minister William Ellery Channing preached that we are all created in the image of God, the apex of love, the higher good. He considered human nature as divine because we are always tethered to the sacred unity of life, even if we have lost sight of it through our egos and our selfish acts. It is harder to grasp that visceral connection called love with people who we don't know. The bonds are there, but not as obvious. Take, for instance, your ancestors, whether by blood or adopted. Your immediate ancestors, who you knew personally, are close in your heart through memories. You can close your eyes and conjure their faces, maybe their smell, or a feeling of belonging. You can sense that they're helping help you become who you are today through your interactions with them and by watching how they navigated life. It is harder to feel the same connection with the ancestors who you never knew. And yet, their influence is encoded in your DNA. Geneticists can spot in our DNA every mutation from the common code. They can trace the evolutionary journey of my ancestors, culminating in who I am, down to the shape of my nose and the cells in my body. Even though I know I will never know these ancestors, they live within me. We know intellectually that if we go back far enough, we all share a common ancestor. When you widen the circle enough, it encompasses the entire species of Homo sapiens, which came out of Africa roughly 100,000 years ago. So all of us are distant cousins. We are all family. But just because we are related, it is still hard to extend our love outward to everyone, to love the whole human race. At some point, our connection becomes abstract. So how do we love ourselves if those, let me say that again. So how do we see ourselves in those who we do not know? How do we see ourselves in those who we do not know? By going inward and loving ourselves. Now that may sound strange, that it is the root of how we treat others. Just as our hate originates in our fears and our insecurities, so too does our love originate in our own happiness and our personal well-being. In our meditation this morning, we started with loving intentions for ourselves and then radiated out to others. The truth is that you cannot control how anyone feels about you. It's just not possible. You can try to influence them, but ultimately they decide. And chances are you will displease someone else somewhere along the way because you remind them of someone who caused them harm, perhaps. Or maybe they're jealous of you for no fault of your own. Or they hate a group you belong to. All you can control is how you feel about yourself. So if it is harder to hate an individual and easier to love an individual, then why not start with the individual on the other side of the mirror? You. Quit hating and start loving that one person you know the best. Stop judging and be gentle with yourself. Once we drop the expectation of perfection for ourselves, we can love who we are and be love for the world. Many of my UU colleagues recently went to Minneapolis when the call was put out for clergy of all religions to come bear witness to the atrocities being perpetrated on their fellow human beings. In sub-zero weather, they joined the brave residents of that city who are looking out for their neighbors. They took food to people who are afraid to leave their homes. They filmed and documented gangs of ICE agents who were pulling people out of their cars and raiding businesses. One of my dear friends who went, Reverend James Galasinski, was being interviewed on CNN earlier this week. James was recounting an ordeal that he witnessed when ICE agents grabbed a pregnant woman who happened to be a U.S. citizen out of her car in a shopping center parking lot. James told a reporter that while he was filming the whole thing on his cell phone, he captured the eyes of the two ICE agents. He said they looked to be young men in their 20s. They looked afraid and seemed to be out of place. He thought that they probably took the job for the pay and the benefits to support a young family. And that deep down, they were just caught up in another scheme to pull us all apart from one another. After the woman was able to show her passport and the agents drove off, he and his fellow clergy on the scene prayed for the woman and her baby, for the young ICE agents, for the Minneapolis community, and for our nation. They prayed that the violence would stop and that everyone on all sides would find love in their hearts for their fellow human beings. Establishing a practice such as the meditation that we did is a great way to cultivate love that can crumble hate. Or you can start your day with a prayer to show yourself love every time you respond to someone else. Or if meditation and prayer aren't your thing, perhaps read a daily love poem. Or pick out a place nearby that elicits good feelings and visit it as often as you can. The whole point is to be active and intentional about it so that it emerges from your soul and it radiates outward. If you love yourself, you can break the cycles of hate. Dr. King, in his sermon entitled Love Your Enemies, told the story of when he and his brother were driving at night from Chattanooga to Atlanta, and it seemed that everyone was using their high beams. After a while, in a tone of anger, his brother said, "I know what I'm going to do. The next car that comes along and refuses to dim their lights, I'm going to fail to dim mine and pour them on in all their power." Martin looked at him and said, "Oh no, don't do that. Somebody must have some sense on this highway. Somebody must have the sense to dim their lights." He went on to reflect that it is because civilization fails to have sense enough to turn on the dim, beautiful, and powerful lights of love in this world, that the whole of our civilization may be plunged into the darkness of destruction. Somebody must have the sense enough and morality enough to cut off the chain of hate and the chain of evil in the universe. And you do that by love. He called us to be the ones with the sense to turn down the bright, garish lights of hate and to turn on the dim, unassuming, beautiful, always present light of our own love. If you love yourself, you can love those who stormed the Capitol and the police officers who were brutally beaten. If you love yourself, you can love those who are orchestrating and carrying out the mass deportations and those who are being deported. If you love yourself, you can love those who are afraid of the uncomfortable history of racism in our country and all the millions of victims who have suffered because of it. I'm not asking you to condone hateful and violent actions, but to love the perpetrators as yourself. They too are flowing with the spirit of life and love, even though they may be temporarily blind to it. As Dr. King said, when you rise to the level of love, of its great beauty and power, you seek only to defeat evil systems. Individuals who happen to be caught up in that system, you love, but you seek to defeat the system. We must discover the power of love, the redemptive power of love. And when we discover that, we will be able to make of this old world a new world. We will be able to heal the moral injuries and the tears in the fabric of our mutual destiny. We will be able to make humanity better, more in sync with the nature of things. Let that be encoded in our DNA and give it to our future generations. Love is the only way. Que así sea. May it be so. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able to sing hymn number 1053 in the Teal hymnal, 1053 in the Teal hymnal, How Could Anyone? Us. Us, yes.
One more verse.
Everyone ever tell us that we is a miracle? How could anyone ever tell us we're less than whole? How could anyone fail to tell us that our loving is a miracle? How deeply we're connected to our soul. All right, thank you. We take time for members and friends to briefly share a deep joy or sorrow that you would ask us to hold with you. Okay.
I'll do that.
There we go. Okay.
David can't do that.
Yeah, sing and everything. The microphone will be brought to you, and just raise your hand if you want to share a joy or a sorrow. Candles located on the side of the church there by the windows may be lit at any time during the service to express unvoiced joys and sorrows. Please note that this is not a time for personal or political announcements. We care for each other by being present and attentive to each other's authenticity. Please state your joy and concern or sorrow directly from your heart. One very great joy that we feel today is to have visitors to All Souls, and during this time we warmly invite any visitors to introduce themselves. Well, this is not required. We would love the opportunity to welcome you.
Care to say your name?
Yes, I am Greg. I came the week before the New Year's Eve, and I liked the experience here, so I'd like to come back.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's like you never left, Greg. Care to introduce yourselves?
I'm RJ. We've been here a couple times. We live in the area.
Welcome back.
Can I do my concerns?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Helen. I am a lifelong Unitarian Universalist. I've been here several times. And this is my partner, RJ. My concerns are for loved ones. I have, if we have any prayerful people, I would appreciate it if you could pray for my coworker, Marcus. He is such a delightful man. He works and lives in Germany, and he's German. And he's been so helpful in helping me get used to working for a non-American company. And I have such a strong ally in him and collaborator. And I don't know the full extent of it, but he's been out for several weeks, and he'll be out for several more, and it's related to a back issue. So if anyone has it in their heart, please pray for Marcus. A very close friend of mine shared some very sad news with me the other day, and she is someone who I rely on so much. And in recent months, she's never said anything about what she's been going through, so it's just been really on my mind a lot. And the last one I have is for my friend Taylor, who I've been friends with for many, many years. And he has helped me through so many difficult things in my life, including dealing with the grief that I had when my mother died. His father died abruptly last weekend, and he's really suffering. So if you can, please lift him up in your prayers too.
Thank you.
Is that the Taylor who's connected to our church? No, okay.
Hi, my name is Jane, and I've lived in this area about 6 months. When I first moved back up here, I thought my dream is to have visitors come like every month, because I'm retired and I've got this great condo in South Deerfield, and I had company in August, and September, and October, and November. And this past Friday, I had two really dear friends from graduate school. One came up from Hartford, the other came over from Chelmsford outside of Boston. And it does my heart so much good to be around these women. There's a group of 7 of us from grad school in South Carolina. The Cocky Girls, because of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Anyway, the 3 New England Cocky Girls got together at my place, and it was fabulous on Friday, and it really filled my heart with joy, and I wanted to share that.
Glad you did.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and I have 2 joys. The first is this week I was able to connect by phone with the widow of my former husband who died in November. And I had left her a message and she'd left me a message, so we were like dancing with the universe. But we finally connected and we had such a loving, wonderful connection that we've decided to talk to each other every Friday. Yeah. Going forward. She's 87 and I'm 85. She was married to my husband for 50 years. I was only married to him for 10. But we're family. And to find a deeper connection with each other at this stage in life is just beautiful. And the other good joy is that yesterday I participated in a partnering through Braver Angels with someone of the other party. And we have been given each other's phone numbers by the Braver Angels organizers, since that's all we had was a name and a phone number. And we finally connected yesterday. We originally planned for 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, so at 10 a.m. I was on the Zoom waiting. We both forgot about time zones and asking each other where we lived. And he's in Idaho, so he was not on the Zoom at 10 o'clock. But we finally figured out what was wrong by phone and connected at 4. And we talked for 2.5 hours. We just couldn't get enough of connecting with each other. And he grew up in Wyoming and has moved to Idaho. And he's 27 and I'm 85. But he had been a missionary in Guatemala with the Latter Day Saints mission program. And I'd been a missionary in Malawi in Central Africa, so we had that in common. And we just couldn't stop. So we've agreed to talk every 2 weeks. So I'm getting busy on the Zoom these days, but I'm just full of joy.
Good morning, my name is Sue, and I have a joy and a concern. The joy is that my niece Rachel and her husband Brett will be having a baby. All right. And we didn't know the sex. It's going to be a girl, and she's due in June. And I'm just really happy for them. And the other is a concern and asking for prayers for my sister-in-law Maria. She's taking care of my brother who has Parkinson's, and I talked to her yesterday, and it's all on her. And she's exhausted. So I just, she's been doing this for 1.5 years at this point. So her name's Maria. If you could send her some love. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Russ. I have a sadness and a concern. Valley Medical Group laid off a number of people, saw in the paper, and then I got an email that my diabetes educator was part of that layoff. They don't have diabetes educators there anymore. And there was no way I could contact her even to just say goodbye. I've worked with her for a few years and been very helpful. And I feel a loss in my life. And my concern is, I don't know where this came from, but the last couple of days, I've had a stiff neck. And I don't know if anybody's ever had that. That is not fun. So I'm being kind of like more intentional how I move, and hopefully this will relieve itself over time. So, thank you.
Good morning. My name is David. I'd like to light a candle on behalf of my fellow choir mates who gave me this opportunity for my national debut solo performance, that they all get better and be with us again soon.
We're preaching to the one-man choir. Matt, do we have anyone on Zoom?
We have a few comments that have come in, and the first is from Christine Bates, who asked for a candle for a moment of love and comfort as a friend breathes their last days in this human existence. And Gary would like to offer, please light a candle for my son who is experiencing challenges in several major areas of his life. Also, a candle for Christy's family in St. Paul.
I'd like to light a candle of sorrow for my housemate and my friend Clay, who would have been here but is having a raging migraine. I'd also like to light a candle of joy for Doug's sermon and Sandra's comment, which helped me realize that love doesn't conquer hate, love connects hate. And I also want to just keep, that candle be suffice for both, but in terms of being more gentle and less judgmental, last night I was at a tango dance. It was ladies' choice. There were 20 women and 21 men, and I was the one man left sitting after all of the ladies made their choices. And I briefly went to this place of great sort of self-recrimination, and then I just laughed and realized, well, what a joy. I get to watch 20 different people dance, and no pressure on me to not step on any foot. Anyway, it was one small step for Pat Kine towards maturity.
Thank you.
Any other candles?
Hi. I think it was the last sermon, the last time I was in church, I was told that Molly Chambers was in hospice. And I was so glad because we were good friends. We went to Antioch together. And I just was able to go in and talk to her and share with her how things were. And she was saying how many grandchildren she had and great-grandchildren. And I was so impressed. I have exactly one granddaughter. And she's the only grandchild on both sides of the family. So
Thank you.
I think I should adopt some grandchildren.
I volunteer to be adopted. Okay. Then.
Rob, we have one more that's coming through Zoom. Maria offers, thankful for the gift of today's service, and please send out love to my brother who is making a major life change.
I now invite us into a time of silent reflection. Spirit of community, in which we share and find strength and common purpose. We turn our minds and hearts toward one another, seeking to hold in our hearts all our joys and sorrows, both those spoken and unspoken. please join in singing Prayer to Our Friends, which you can find as an insert in front of the gray hymnal. In the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in the final analysis, love is not this sentimental something that we talk about. It's not merely an emotional something. Love is a creative, understanding, goodwill for all people. It is the refusal to defeat any individual. When you rise to the level of love, of its great beauty and power, you seek only to defeat evil systems. Individuals who happen to be caught up into that system you love, but you seek to defeat the system. So go in peace. Serve the world and return in love. Amen. Please remain seated for our closing musical reflection. And at the conclusion, you are invited to join us for coffee and conversation. Do we have any announcements, perhaps? There you are.
Morning. Pledges.
Oh.
We will be starting our pledge campaign in a couple more weeks, but we have cards available. If anyone has not yet had an opportunity to receive one or to get one, please stop by and see me. I would be most happy to give you. Presently, we have 9 people that have pledged, and we would really like to see more. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Robin. I have 2 announcements. One is that after the service today, you are welcome to stay and come into a circle up here for the second installment of a discussion, check-in of, what did I call it? Finding hope through community and right action. So basically, it's an invitation to share how you're doing in response to what's going on the news and in our world, and how you are or can imagine finding hope through community and right action. No pressure, but an opportunity to share in a safe space. And I'm planning to do this every first Sunday after the service. So this will be the second one. The other announcement is that on February 12th, there will be a
forum on noise ordinance that some people are trying to make happen in Greenfield. It's kind of controversial. It's about those of us who live near the fairgrounds neighborhood have been working on this for quite some time because of the loudness of some of the events there. But others have issues with leaf blowers, and others would like to keep them. So if you'd like to be part of that interesting conversation, Thursday, February 12th at the Johns On Senior Center, 6:30 p.m. will be a chance to share and listen to people's concerns about noise and a noise ordinance.
Any other announcements?
It's in the order of worship, but the property committee is meeting this Wednesday night in the minister's study over there. Even if you've never been, or you don't even really care that much.
How often do you meet?
Once a month. This building is a great old building. It's a landmark in town, but it has its concerns. There's no hot water in the sinks today because our water heater just went. That needs to be replaced. We have stains on a wall in the hallway out there that we've never seen before. We think it's because the cold weather is breaking up our wall and forcing God knows what coming out of the wall. Look, that doesn't sound all that appealing, but if you're curious or care about what it takes to maintain this building, which is really valuable to us, and I think to the center of Greenfield, think about coming this Wednesday night, part of the conversation. Thanks.
Coffee time.
Coffee time.
Can I get your autograph before you become